All right, do we have everybody here? Michaela? She here?
I don't see her on here.
Jaden?
Jaden's not either.
Marley?
Present.
Sydney?
Here.
Faith?
Here.
Gavin?
Yep.
And Bailey Weiss?
Not here.
Michaela's here.
Michaela, good. Jaden and Bailey?
Not yet.
Anybody got them on Snapchat or something?
Jaden just joined.
He's on? Okay.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah.
Anybody got Bailey Weiss?
Nope.
I don't know her.
Okay, well, we're going to get started. So today is going to be our orientation day, so we're going to go through everything. So this is the American Revolutionary War simulation, student orientation. Sequence of play. So this is an online, we're doing this totally online, so this will be, we're not sure how this will end up going, but this is going to be day one, where we go over the rules and everything. We're basically going to go an hour each day from 4 to 5. Tomorrow will be day 2, and that will be our first day that we actually conduct business. So there is no guarantee how long this will last, depending on choices that are made and things that happen, but we know that it definitely would end on day 6, which would be 1783. So the turns, first would be Great Britain and its allies, which of course would be the Royalists and the Hessians. They would conduct any war that they want to do during this phase. You may attack in multiple areas, but you can't use the same troops twice in one turn. That's always a standard rule in our simulations. Then you can do movement. Movement is when you move anything that you did not use in the war phase. Now it's true that you could move stuff, you do move stuff when you attack someone, but movement is considered only moving when there is no attack happening. You're just getting yourself in position or into a place that you need to be. Then comes the Americans and its allies, which early on would be the Continental troops, and then of course the militia. The militia are signified by the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Was the best symbol we could come up with. And then when that's done, we start over and we go back to Great Britain and the Allies. We go through the exact same process again. We try to get as many turns done in a day as we can. And wherever we leave off, that's where we'll pick up the next time. So if we finished American War, then the next class period we would start with American movement. Any questions so far? Okay. Some of the map symbols. This isn't an online map, so it's a word map, so it's a little different. Some of the states that are larger are divided into zones. Pennsylvania has 4 different zones: PA1, PA2, PA3, and PA4. So that movement would be by zone in that state, or that colony, I should say now. Troop symbols. The British flag are the British regular troops. The British flag with the red inside a red rectangle are the American Royalists. Those are the Americans that are fighting for the British. The Hessian flag would be the symbol of Prussia, and those troops are mercenaries. They are fighting for the crown and getting paid for that. French regulars would be French troops if they decide to join the fight. The Betsy Ross flag would be the American regulars or the Continental Army, and the Don't Tread on Me is a symbol for the American militia. Also under those symbols will tell you what state they are from and the number of troops. And that's how we know which troops or whose troops in the battles. Because each state has its own troops or colony. The wilderness areas are unsettled. The rules in the wilderness is you cannot attack armies in the wilderness. So there could be a lot of armies in a particular wilderness, like Virginia and Ohio, Michigan, but you cannot attack anyone in the wilderness. You can move through them, but no battles will happen there. The wilderness zones are treated like any other zone, except no war can take place. So you can move into Ohio and then into Virginia or whatever kind of movement as one movement turn. Movement. Troop movement is restricted. Now, the British regulars can move one zone per turn. The American Royalists, because they know the terrain, can move 2 zones per turn. The Hessians don't know the terrain, so they are 1 zone per turn. The French don't know the terrain, so they are 1 zone per turn. The Continental Army can move 2 zones per turn, and so can the American militia. So there is different troop movement for different types of troops that you'll have to keep in mind. You may only use a specific set of troops once per turn to attack. And everyone in this simulation is pretty well versed in that rule. Naval troop movement. You can see when you want to move troops, a navy the size of 3,000 can move 3,000 troops. So it's very simple math. There's lots of copy and paste in this simulation. It is not automatic like the others. And then troops will have to be divided. And then those new troops would move into wherever they were attacking. And so movement is... it takes a little bit longer because it's all manual. But other than that, the rule for troop movement is the same as the other simulations. War. There are 2 types of war. One is to fight to the death. In this scenario, one side will be completely wiped out. Okay? The second is an ambush. And when you declare war, you're going to have to let me know which kind it is. An ambush means the attacker inflicts 20% casualties on the defenders and sustains only 5% losses. Kind of a hit and run type of warfare. And so you'll need to signify which one, which we can do easily verbally over video. So, American forces move in. The Royalist forces are destroyed. The American forces retreat back to their positions because they can move 1 turn. That's a little bit, because they can move 2. They can go in, attack, and move back out. And that's very different from the rules that for the other simulations. If you are defending forces, you cannot retreat. There's no way out of that. And that is an example of fight to the death. Now, we would have a budget sheet if we were doing this in class, but the actual budget sheet is now on the online Google Sheet, which you will be filling out. You can use the budget sheet to try to figure out your strategy on how much of your treasury you're going to use, how much of your credit line you're going to borrow, to get your rating where you want it to be. But on the online one, we'll be doing that all on the Google Sheet that was already shared with you. And we will be doing that. So tomorrow, when we go and talk about the sheet, I'll show you what I mean. But you'll need to make sure that you have your budget set for the day before. And so for tomorrow, the assignment will be to set your first budget for 1775.76. How much of your treasury are you going to spend, and how much of your credit are you going to spend? And actually on the sheet, I've set it up so that you can see how much you spent and what percentage of your overall money that you've spent. And so that'll help you keep an idea of where you're at. It'll be up to you to strategize what would be the best way to handle your money. Whether to go big early or go big late or have an average or however you're going to do it. That's part of your strategy, is how your money, because that will set what you have for a rating. Journals, if we were doing this in class, you'd be required to journal every day of the simulation. Items that would be in your journal would be your thoughts, your strategy, your insights, the things that you're thinking about. For me, since we've never done this before, if you guys could journal, I would love to put them in for teachers to look at. I think they would really appreciate that. Obviously, we're not grading this, so you don't have to do it, but it would be great if you did. The report, of course, we won't be doing the report, but if we were doing this in class, we definitely would be doing the report, and you would be showing me what you learned through this. But we will have a discussion afterwards in place of that. That's the end of the orientation. We'll take a look at, here is your budget sheet for the daily budget. You do have access to that, so you can put your numbers in there. You will need to have your first row for 1775.76 done in there before class starts tomorrow at 4 o'clock, so that we're ready to go. Do you have any questions about anything? We can go over the map or whatever you want.
Yeah, who is Great Britain? I still haven't figured that out.
Gavin, it's right down.
I
It's
didn't
Okay.
that.
Gavin Cutler. Forgot to have that in there.
We're coming together.
Oh my god. That was an evil laugh.
Like he said.
And Bailey Weiss will be France. Did she ever get on?
No.
Okay. So I will contact her again and have to go through all this again so she knows where she's at for France. So everyone knows what they need to do before tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
Any other questions?
How long is war? Like, are we gonna have time limits again? Or
Let's see how it goes the first day before we start doing that. Because it's going to take me longer because I can't just drop them and click them and do it. I'm going to have to do this through the spreadsheet. And so what I'm probably going to do is I'll have one of you read them off to me as I type them in, and that'll help it go a little faster. Probably the person who's attacking will do it that way. And then I will have to change the map. So this is what the map looks like. Do we have a map on Classroom? Did I put that up there?
Yeah, you posted it.
Okay, that'll be how it starts. What I'll probably do is every day I will make a PDF of the map when we're done, and I'll post that to Classroom so you know what the map looks like to plan your strategy for the next day. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Then everybody will, because there's no access like we had before with the online.
So the amount that we have, like in that document, where the number that's under your colony name, like that's the money we have to spend throughout the whole war, right?
Let's see over here.
Like, is that our total?
Your total is on this page. Your treasury, if you look at over here, so New Hampshire starts with, and these are all the same, but so you have credit for New Hampshire is 5,283,869. So you could borrow that much. And you also have the same amount of money in your treasury, if you look on the other side. So those two are the same. So you have roughly, if you look at the total over here, total available to spend throughout the simulation is 10,567,739.
Okay.
And the price per point is 880,645. So we're not dealing with real big ratings numbers.
Is the rating still 1 through 10, like military rating?
Everybody kind of starts out at 1 and a 2, and then whatever you add in to your budget increases a little bit more. So they're not going to be that high. They could be if you spent it all the first day. You could be up there, but then you wouldn't last too long.
Okay.
And this you have this view. So when you go over to the leader, when you start putting your stuff in here, it'll tell you how much you spent out of your treasury and how much out of your loan overall, and how much percentage you've spent.
Okay.
And then that all will transfer automatically over to here, which will give me the rating based on that. And then the banking stuff all transfers over here automatically as well. And then you'll still be able to view, you can view that and see what you've got, what's in there and what's left.
Where is the spreadsheet at?
It should be shared on Classroom.
Okay.
It's called American Revolution Online 2020.
And it's in the simulations classroom?
Let's see. Maybe I didn't. Let me see here. I might have to put. Maybe I didn't post that.
Just look it up in your drive. It's there.
And where?
Just go to your drive and just search American Revolution.
Okay.
I found it.
All right. Now it should be up there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Is there anything else that anyone needs?
What's the difference between like what you budget for treasury and loans? Like, how does that differ?
So treasury is the money you have in your bank account, and the loans is money you borrow. So you could borrow, same example again, New Hampshire could borrow up to 5,283,869.
And that's every year they can do that, or all together?
That's all together.
Okay.
So your treasury and your credit is how much money. You add those two together, that gives you your total available. That's
Okay.
how much you could spend over the 5 days.
Okay.
Now we don't know with everything how long it'll last, so it's
Right.
it'll be day by day as to how things are, depending on how aggressive people get.
What's like the shortest? Well, have you ever done this one in class before?
I've never done this one in class before.
Okay.
I've simulated it, but I've never actually done a student. So this is the first time I've ran it. So this will be interesting.
Guess what?
So tomorrow, not tomorrow. It's today. All right. So Gavin has a little message for you guys that I'll play here.
I'm going to turn down my volume because I don't want to hear this.
Oh no.
Oh my
This
god.
is intimidating.
Yes.
Dear most loyal sons, what a time has been. Do not mean this. You have undoubtedly been the utmost center of my attention, and for that I want to express my love to you as my most loyal sons. Though it's been a good time for us all, I must unfortunately increase the amount of taxation upon the colonies. The party can last forever, and there are expenses that must be paid. I must protect you from the unsavory people you refer to colloquially as Indians, and prevent the sphere of French influence and the corruption by the Catholic Church. It would be of your best interest to realize the advantages of this relationship. The might of the British Empire expands far, and you would be helpless without my guidance and protection. You don't want to be the laughing stock of the civilized world, would you? Sincerely, Your Royal Highness, King George III.
So eloquently put.
Yes, very eloquently put. He
This is wonderful.
put you guys in your place, that's for sure.
It's intimidating. I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie.
so I am going to. Apparently, the British now have imposed a new tax on you, and I am going to post that.
Ew, I remember learning about this.
Gross.
Next season.
And you guys now, I guess, Massachusetts, it'll be up to you guys to call a meeting and discuss what you're going to do before tomorrow. And I'll put this out right now.
Wait, so are we even officially at war yet? Like, or
No.
do we have to, like, we're not?
No, no.
Do you want to be?
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
So you guys can download this, take a look at it, discuss it before tomorrow, and then tomorrow we will be ready to begin.
Fun.
So there we go. Any questions before we go?
Mr. Harm,
Yes.
so I work tomorrow, Thursday and Friday at 5 o'clock, so I would have to leave a little bit early.
Okay. We can probably finish a little bit early.
Okay. Only
Um,
takes me about.
and see how it goes. Maybe we'll go 45 minutes or something. We'll just see how it goes tomorrow and go from there.
Alright.
Anything else? If you have any questions, you can email me too, but if you have any right now, we definitely can go over it. A lot of the things are saying the movement's a little trickier, and the financing is up to you as to how you're going to do that. You guys can probably work that out together. Might be a good idea to get hold of Bailey so she kind of knows what's going on with you too,
Okay.
because that could be important. Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's plan on getting started tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'm
Alright.
bugging out.
Good stuff.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.